Okay, thank you for tuning in to this particular class. This is Business Success in the Digital Age, and we're going to talk about how digital marketing can help and grow your business. I do have a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to share my screen, so we'll get that started. And there we are. Okay. Let's start things moving here. All right, let's talk about what is digital marketing. Now, many of you are familiar with it, and I will admit I'm not going to make you a digital marketing expert today. I can't do that in 60 minutes, but what I do hope to do is to familiarize you with the process, introduce you to some of the terminology and so forth, and I want to share with you some low-hanging fruit strategies that you can start using right away. Because this is a very big field, like it's like a catch-all basket. So many things have been thrown into the digital marketing basket lately. So I'm going to it's almost like your brain. You use about 10 to 15% of it. And when it comes down to digital marketing, most of the things in this field you would never use, particularly as a small business owner or somebody just getting started in the field. So I'm going to cover some of what I call the low-hanging fruit items that I think everybody should know who's involved in digital marketing. And hopefully also I'll create some curiosity so that when this class is over, if you see something that piques your interest, you'll go out and do further research and find out more about it. On that note, we'll get started. Well, digital marketing, for instance, is leveraging the internet and technology, smartphones and so forth, to connect with customers. That's basically it in a nutshell. Now, some of the trends in digital marketing, there are many, but this is like a moving target. But I think my top three, of course, is video. Video is just always there when it comes to digital marketing. And short form video is like right at the top of the list. You've seen the TikToks and the Reels and the stories and so forth. So those are really those are hot items right now when it comes to digital marketing. The chat boxes and AI, of course, it's getting scary out there, really. With the chat GPT and so forth, we're going to start seeing, every small business start taking advantage of this technology. And then, of course, we have voice search optimization like Alexa and Google Assistant and so forth. These have become mainstays of digital marketing. And those trends, like I said, they're moving target. They're changing practically every day. Now, with any class that I teach, because I'm a marketing guy, I have to give it context in the marketing field. Because the challenge I've seen with many people that grab this technology is that they don't give it the marketing foundation. So they get the technical part, the logistical parts, but it doesn't work because they did not do the marketing. They didn't lay down that foundation. So in many cases, they're doing things that it feels good. You get the bright, shiny objects, but it's not actually delivering customers. So I have to kind of bring in give it that foundation so that we don't build a house on quicksand. First, I want to differentiate between marketing and advertising. That's one of the first things I like to get everybody to understand. And marketing is more cerebral. It's about understanding the customer, their needs and wants. And then advertising delivers that message, it communicates, and your ability to deliver on those needs and wants. In a nutshell, not all marketing is advertising, but all advertising is marketing. You can marinate on that for a second. To give it a little more depth, marketing, like I said, identifies the needs and wants of target marketing. And I look at marketing like a three-legged stool. We have advertising, we have sales, and we have customer service. And each one of those have a function. Marketing identifies, and then advertising communicates. It delivers the message. That's really what advertising is all about. We can add all the fancy stuff to it, but in a nutshell, advertising is simply about delivering impressions. Sales, on the other hand, it converts. We like in the perfect world when we deliver those nice impressions, everybody calls up ready to order. It's like, hey, I saw your ad, let's go. That's not the real world. The real world requires a sales effort. And sales, the function of sales is to convert those people that are calling you into customers. And then this last one is very important. And that's another thing I like about digital marketing and social media is customer service. Customer service, it retains, it keeps that person from going from you to somebody else. So let's look at these three components of marketing and make sure that we are using them and keeping them in front of mind when we start talking about marketing and digital marketing in particular. Now, this is a marketing favorite of mine. Everybody's not your customer. I have a company in Largo called Gatewood Marketing, and I get clients all the matter of fact, right before this call started, somebody's calling up, hey, I want to use your service. And one of the fights I have to have with my customers is that they want to sell to everybody. Oh, shoot, man, I want to grow big. I want everybody to be my customer. I don't want to limit myself or cut anybody off. Once again, that's not real world. Everybody's not going to be a customer, and you're going to waste a lot of money, time, and effort trying to do otherwise. Because even Bill Gates and people like that, they understand they can't sell to everybody. There's age. Some people are just going to be too young. Some are going to be too old. Some not going to have the money. Some is going to be for them based on their marital status. And then there's location. Some people they're just out of your reach. You can't reach them by horse, buggy, or internet. They're just not in your demographic or your geographic targeting area. And now lifestyle has become one of the profiles that we look at now when we're trying to target people. I mean, whether they drink water every day or they going on the weekend and go out to bar hopping, and so forth. These are lifestyle issues that marketers now have gotten more, they've drilled a little deeper than just where you live and how your age. So these are things that you have to, as a marketer, be aware that you have to understand that these different groups exist. And that's been a challenge for marketers. We go out and we get this great campaign we put together, and then we go out here and run it and realize we missed about 80% of the audience because of these challenges. This has caused many marketers lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out how can they reach all these different people. Well, you have to pick one. You have to pick a group. You have to pick I call it a profile. I can walk into a room basically and pick out my client just by almost looking around the room. Okay, they're going to be like a certain age, usually for better or worse, a certain gender, and a certain part of town. That's where I'm going to spend my money trying to reach those people. That's okay. So somebody from outside that group comes in with a checkbook. Of course, I'm going to take their money. But my point is, I'm going to target the folks that are most likely to be my client. Doesn't sound that complicated, but hey, some people, they want to fight. I want to reach everybody. Let's talk about some metrics quickly before we get into the now metrics. This is called the price of understanding customer ownership. Every customer you have had a cost. Every customer that comes into your threshold has a cost. And the sooner you figure it out, the better off you're going to be. The first, and it introduces a couple of acronyms. The first acronym is CPA, cost per acquisition. Every customer has a cost. And in simple terms, if you spend $1,000, you got 10 customers, your cost per acquisition is $100 per customer. Now, the second acronym is where the rubber hits the road, and that's called your lifetime value. As a business owner, or somebody in marketing, or somebody in sales generation, you have to understand if you've reached $100, you spend $100 on that customer, you need to figure out how much that customer is going to spend with you over the lifetime of your engagement. And that's what we call the lifetime value. And many people, this is a rookie error for many small businesses. They give up too fast. They say, I spent $100. They called over the radio station. They spent $100. The customer walked in the door. The first customer spent $75. They said, wow, I just lost $25. Well, you have to understand that that customer is going to be around, or they're spending $75 a month. It's $900. It's not $75. And they bring in two friends. It's $2,700. So those are kind of like the metrics that we have to be aware of as we engage in marketing. And thank goodness that due to social media and digital marketing, it's easier now to ascertain those numbers. In the past, you had to go out and hire a research firm, a accountant, and all kinds of people to get this data. Now you just go to your insights. Okay, let's keep moving. And if you have a question, by all means, you can throw up your hand or send me a chat and I'll get it to you. Because I talk kind of fast. I'm trying to get a lot of information into this 1 hour. Now, one more fundamental is advertising is there's 2 main types you need to be familiar with. The first one, most of us are familiar with direct action. You run an ad, somebody takes some type of action. They come by for an appointment, they come to the store, they go online and press the buy button. That's most advertising that we are familiar with. But an equally important type of advertising is called indirect action or communication advertising. That's kind of like branding your name to customer psyche and nurturing them in relationship building. Digital marketing has a role in both. Okay, let's see here. And I think this is the last of the basics, but also understand it. And I've got this from being a media buyer for many years, that there's basically 2 types of buying that you, media buys that you can make. One is fixed costs, where you call the station, or if you go into an advertising publisher and say, look, I want to buy some ads, they charge you, let's say $1,000 a month or $10,000 a month. You write them a check, whether you get one check, whether you get one customer or 1 million, the price is the same. Now that can work for you and it can work against you if you have a very successful campaign. Now, if you have a bad campaign, you're going to be out of $10,000. Now, on the other hand, the variable rate advertising this is where, once again, digital marketing has made its mark. We have more control now over how we spend our money, and we can measure the results as we go. A couple of quick acronyms, the variables that can affect your cost are CPM. That stands for cost per, you want to say it's cost per 1,000 impressions. Why is it not CPT or CPO? Well, because CPM, that M represents MILAE, which is a Latin term for 1,000. So CPM is how many impressions you get for how much you spend for 1,000 impressions. One impression has such a little value that they sell them in lots of 1,000. So that's the first acronym. And you're going to see these acronyms as you start buying ads from Facebook and Google and so forth. The second one is cost CPC, that's cost per click. This is where most of your digital advertising is going to fall, in the CPC range. You spend a click, if you're doing Google advertising or something like that, you're going to probably be doing a CPC campaign. CPA is called cost per action, and cost per action is kind of like, or cost per acquisition. Sometimes CPA is also used the way to evaluate the effectiveness of media after the fact, as we demonstrated earlier when we were talking about the metrics of customer ownership. After we've done all our dotted our I's and crossed our T's, we want to know how much we actually spent for that customer. In the older days, sometimes if you're doing like a certain type of media buys, that was more of a cost per action where you spent based on the type of customer. If you're doing like a affiliate marketing, for instance, let's say if you join Commission Junction or Shareasale and you became an affiliate, they may do a CPA deal where they're going to pay you $50 for each customer you send our way. That's called a cost per action. Another term, 2 terms, frequency and reach. Frequency simply means how many times did the ad run, and reach means how many people actually it landed where they were or they saw it. So these are some of the foundational things you need to be aware of when you start getting into digital marketing. So you won't be confused and you wonder, well, I did it, but did it work? Or what should I be doing next? What should I be looking for? These are terms that should become part of your lexicon as you dig deeper and deeper into digital marketing. I had to throw this one in here because even though I'm not going to dwell on the website much, but it's important to understand the importance of your domain name in any type of marketing. If you can get a short name, if you can get a name that's relevant to your industry, just know that it's going to be part of your brand. And I have to say this one because this can blow a good digital marketing campaign. Don't feed your competition. If you are Fred's Plumbing and you went to look up Fred's Plumbing on Google, on GoDaddy or HostGator or Network Solutions or somewhere, and you said, well, Fred's Plumbing is taken, Fred'sPlumbing.com is taken, but I see Fred'sPlumbing.net is available, and Fred'sPlumbing.net is right around the corner from your shop. You have just done Fred'sPlumbing.com the best favor in his life. all of your advertising and marketing efforts now are going to be funneled to him if they're searching on domains. Now, luckily, that has been abated now by things like Google search and search engine optimization and so forth, where we're relying less on the domain, but it still can play a very important part of your digital online presence and your digital marketing. Another quick, some people that don't get a website, but they have a domain, I do encourage you to get a domain if you don't have a website even. So why would somebody not have a website? Well, people have various reasons. They have this Instagram plan, the Instagram account that has 10 million followers. Why do I need a domain? Well, go ahead and spend the $10 or $15 a year and get your domain and point it to that Instagram page. So you really wouldn't, you would satisfy the needs of the people who actually still do use domains, but you would also can save yourself, you can benefit from that fantastic presence that you have on Instagram. Let's talk about some of the digital media types and ad objectives. Now, this is once again where the rubber hits the road and why many people who are engaging in digital media are not getting the type of results that they want. Now, like I said, I have a marketing company, and to me, it's all about results. I mean, look, all the fancy terms and shiny objects in the world is not worth a hoot if you're not getting results. So what we have to do is we run digital marketing through that same lens. I'm going to talk about some of the digital media ad types before we get to the actual talking about the types of digital marketing that are out there. Now, when you start to run an ad, everyone if you're about to run an ad today, I want you to pause and say, what is the objective of this ad? And there are many. I'm going to give you some of the top 4 reasons that you might run an ad. And I think this is one of the biggest errors and one of the main reasons that advertising doesn't work for many companies. One of your objectives for running an ad could be to build an audience. Let's say you just got started. Don't many people know about you. You are in an industry that takes a lot of explaining. You want to run an audience builder type ad. And to do that, you have to get people to know you and follow you. Your objective at this point, it would be nice if they were ready to order, but this type of ad is not for that purpose. It's to get in front of people and get them to know you. This is where you do your blogging, you do your educational videos, engagement posts, content-focused ads, podcasts, live videos, things like that. This is the type of ad that many people start with if they're just getting out of the gate, because I'm telling you, I've seen some very good and interesting products, but if I don't know you, I'm going to be slow to give you my money. So an audience builder ad is the #1 ad type we want to talk about today. Let's go a little further. Well, the second type we're going to talk about is called the leads generator ad. Once again, you're starting the ad with the goal in mind. You don't get into the ad and say, well, by the way, I hope I get some leads. No, the purpose of the ad is to get leads. This is called a lead generator ad. Now, one of the main ways that people do this, and like I said, one of the things you want to leads, most people call a lead a good email address, so they can put it in their MailChimp and so forth. So you can put certain information, we call it gated content. You put it behind some type of wall, and the access to get behind this wall is to give me some information. And so you might put like some type of download, it could be like a PDF, some type of video. But to get this information, you've got to give me something, a little quid pro quo going on. So you give me your email address, you can get past this gate, okay? You can offer some type of tool, some type of widget, some type of template, usually something free to get this information so you can get these leads. You can do loss leader type things, discounts, free items, product reviews, evaluation, and so forth. Bottom line, these type of ads serve a specific purpose, and it's to get a lead. Once you got that lead, put it in your database. Like I said, send them email address, send them email newsletters, give them to your sales staff, and so forth. Another type of ad, we call this the converter ad. Convert these leads. Well, you got these leads now. It's been a month now, they haven't done anything. What's going on? Well, you want to get these people off the fence. So you run an ad that's supposed to convert these leads into customers. This type of ad, once again, you may have to go back and build some more credibility. They're just not convinced yet. You're the one. So you want to pull out the testimonies. This is like my favorite, that's my secret weapon. And I think it's woefully underused. Testimonials, it kicks in this thing called social proof, or herd mentality, follow the leader, desire to belong. People see it, they don't want to be the only one to do it. People are more likely to do something if they see other people are doing it too. So you want to run an ad that gives out testimony. Sometimes that ad can be a single testimony. You see them on TV at night, on the infomercials, and one person there talking about the product for 15 minutes. That's called a converter ad. Also, they want to make sure, like I said, that you're legit. Right now, we're in an era and a time where there's a scam every minute. If they see you on a magazine, they see you as a host, a guest on a radio show or podcast, they feel more comfortable and they're more likely to pull the trigger. And this is one of my favorites too, the low threshold approach. We're going to talk about that in a little more detail in a minute. It's where you get them in the gate with something, you don't want to sell them your $10,000 product right away. You may want to sell them like your $50 product so you can get that good feeling. And once you get them inside, then we do an upsell, which takes us to the next ad, to the next type of ad, which is called the customer upseller ad. So you did your homework, you converted them because you used that, in many cases, that low threshold approach. I, for one, I'm not going to give you $10,000 if I just met you. I'm not going to give you $1,000 if I just met you. I need to test your water first. You got to show me that you're a real company. I just ordered a pair of clippers online the other day, and I didn't realize they were coming from Italy. Now they stuck at the port somewhere. It's been sitting at that port now for like almost a week. Now, suppose I'd ordered like a $2,000 flat screen TV. I said, wait a minute, hold on a minute. So my bottom line is, now that they sold me this $50 pair of clippers, they come on time, everything works. I'm going to be much more in tune the next time they start doing what we call a customer upseller ad. They're going to thank me. So this type of ad, I'm thanking you for the order. I'm going to show you the next level, the next item that we have, or get the complete set. And I'm also going to be talking about cross-selling. Okay, you got the hose. Now you need the appliance that goes at the tip of it. So these type of ads. So think about it now. I just showed you 4 different types of ad. Each one of them have a different purpose. So if you're about to do an ad, pause, halt, and say, what am I trying to do here? The results will amaze you. Let's talk about some quick strategies. I said I was going to share some quick strategies with you today. These are some of my favorites. Your readiness strategy. When you're about to do digital marketing, the first one is readiness strategy. Readiness strategy simply means you got to prepare. Ask yourself these questions before you start advertising. Who is my audience? You're going to hear the word audience in marketing more than anything else. Marketing is about putting yourself in front of the right audience. If you know who the audience is, now you ask yourself, where are they? Where do they participate online? Are they on Facebook? Are they on TikTok? Do they get every door direct mailing? The senior beacon? Some audiences are really not ideal for digital marketing. You may have to go the old traditional route. But for this purpose of this course, we're talking about what audience is more likely to participate in your digital marketing efforts. Which media do they use the most? How much time would this take? Another problem, many people just don't have the understanding that some of these things take time. Particularly if we're talking about the first type of ad we were talking about, which is building a base, getting people to know who you are. Man, that can go on for months and sometimes a year, but before it finally just sinks in that this is a company I want to do business with. Who would do the work? I did a little schedule at the end of this presentation because sometimes the owner of the business just doesn't have the time to do it. Or if we have the time, we're not using the little time that we do have properly. We're spending too much time on this, not enough time on that. And the other thing is my website ready for this attention it's about to get? You go out and run this campaign, and you go to your website, one, it doesn't look like the same, doesn't look like the same company. You get a nice landing page, then you go to the website, look like a third grader did it. So these are some of the questions you have to ask yourself as you're getting ready to engage in this digital marketing campaign. Another strategy, and this is, you're going to hear me talk about this a lot, because this is another place where companies have missed the boat. It's the low threshold approach. Most people, once again, are not willing to buy your top of the line item the first time they meet you. They're just not. So you have to get them into your ecosystem. You have to get them in. And so when you run that ad, you might not send them, you want to do something to get them to get, warm and fuzzy with you. So we talked about lead capture. And to do that, once again, we use the gated information. We can give out free information, free service, maybe a free workshop to get them familiar with you. And then we go into a process called the upsell. Many of us have blown good sales because we ask for too much too early. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You're asking for too much too early. But if you have, and so you're saying, well, I got bills to pay. I got this nice office over here. I can't be just sitting here giving things away. Well, you gotta, when you're doing your research and setting up your company and doing your business plan, you have to factor in that doing that research part of the business. When you're going through those life cycle, introduction, growth, maturity, decline, that there's not a lot of money going to be made doing that research and introduction. So this is that part where you're doing that audience building, doing that lead capture, giving away those free items, knowing that you will get to fight another day when you're doing the upsell. And that usually comes in the growth phase of the cycle. Landing page, list building. Once again, you go over to, you've gone to Google, or you've gone to Facebook, or you've done Instagram or whatever, you built this great ad. I mean, it looks really, really great. And then you send them to this crappy website, or the website has got, I mean, it's everything on there but the kitchen sink. I mean, it's got the picture of the owner, they got babies jumping them down, things spinning around, cutting flips, it's loading slow. All that work you did building that great ad is just about gone out the window because you sent them to a place where they weren't. It's like they went into shock almost. Wait a minute, it's the same company? Did I just get spammed? Did I get hacked? No, because your ad does not look like the place you sent them. Your ad was talking about one thing, they get to the website, they don't even see it because it's buried 5 pages back. This is where a landing page comes in. The landing page speaks more directly to the ad. If you have an offer on the landing page, I mean, you have an offer in the ad, when they click on that button, they should see an offer. They shouldn't have to go 15 different places trying to find that offer. So we build a landing page. It affects our call to action. And once again, we can capture the lead if they're not ready to buy. Once again, this is one of those pivotal parts of digital marketing. Many people that are doing it right now, they're missing the boat because they spend the money creating the ad, making the buy, but they send them to a place that really just confused the heck out of a person you just had to click. All right, let's talk about some of the different types of digital marketing that you may be interested in or encounter. And I'm sure we've all been targeted by it at some point or the other. I'm going to talk about 5. I'm sure there's others. Like I say, it's a moving target out there, but we're going to talk about, these are like the top 5 on my list. The first one is search engine optimization, or most of us call SEO. Now, SEO is about really satisfying Google. We say Google and Bing, almost obligatory. We say Bing, but we know it's both at Google. So that your website will come up in the search. That's why I made the comment earlier about the domain. If somebody doesn't have your domain name or they don't know you, but they need your service, then they can more likely find you by going to search and typing in some type of, I used to say keyword, but now I'm almost always saying long tail keyword. Don't just don't just put in food and expect people to find you. You can't just put in hair products and expect people to find you. Long tail, you're more specific. Hair products in Maryland, hair products for natural hair, hair products and the economy. Two things happen one, your ads are going to be more the searches are going to be more targeted, and it's actually going to cost you less money because in these SEO campaigns, you paying based on the keyword. And the more popular the keyword or the more general the keyword is, the more that keyword is going to cost you. So you want to get familiar with using long tail keywords to help you attract people to your website that don't have your domain name or don't know who you are. That's my number one. Search engine optimization. Now, how do you do that? You go into your website. Now, if you have a CMS website like WordPress or Spotify, Shopify, they help you with that. They have a section on the back end where you can actually put in those phrases. In the old days, you had to go to your webmaster. You had to, well, they made that a lot easier. CMS and websites are continuing to evolve. They're making these things easier for you. But you want to make sure your website, most of the CMS websites now, they come out of the box almost SEO optimized. So it's not as hard as it used to be, but still you got to know what you're doing, like anything else. It's not about being like everybody else. It's being like you want to get to the top of the list. Pay-per-click advertising. PPC, we talked about CPC earlier, but this is how it's evaluated. Pay-per-click means that I'm going to pay you only, you only going to be charged if somebody actually clicks on the ad. Okay, so if you're doing a banner ad, you may see on some website you go to, there's a banner ad in the header, there's a banner ad on the sidebar. You click on it, somebody gets paid because they clicked on that ad. Same thing with some of these social media ads. They click on it, and that's how you're paying for the ads. Keywords in Google AdWords, PPC advertising. That is a very good form of digital marketing right now. Pay-per-click advertising. Email marketing. Once upon a time, I thought, like many, when social media came along, man, you can forget that email stuff. I don't even need to know your name now because I can just go on Facebook and just get everybody. Well, like everything else, realization kicks in. Sometimes it can be very sobering. Because what a lot of people depending on with social media, that because they could land on their screen without knowing their exact name and so forth. If you didn't have a strong brand or if they never heard of you, they still weren't going to click on you. So many people came running back to email and their databases and their MailChimps and their constant contacts and iContact, and they realized they were sitting on the gold mine all along. So they dusted their email back off. And now one of the hottest platforms out here right now is MailChimp. MailChimp has kind of like become the default email delivery system. Whatever you do, do not use your regular email account to send out bulk email. I feel like this shouldn't be, I shouldn't have to state this, but some people just realize they're still kind of in that infancy stage of digital marketing. Yes, you have a nice Gmail account. Yes, Yahoo, AOL, Earls, or whatever. I'm kind of picking on people now because right now, if you almost tell somebody's age now by their email address. If you got an Earl's email address, don't try to convince anybody you're 25. It just won't work. So you shouldn't use your personal email to send out bulk mail. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway again, because you can get your email address blacklisted. When you get blacklisted, that means now anytime you try to send your personal mail to somebody on Google or so forth, they're going to block it. They say this person is a spammer. So you want to get on one of these platforms like we call them email marketing platforms, MailChimp, iContact, Constant Contact, and so forth. And what they do, they keep you out of trouble with the spam cops. They give you the ability to opt out. You don't have that on your personal email, okay? The other thing they do, they send it from their servers and not your server. So email marketing, once again, has become a very pivotal part of digital marketing. Great for brand awareness, sending out information about upcoming sales, offering certain groups, certain discounts and so forth. Now, if you take this a step further, you can all of these platforms now, whether it's MailChimp or whatever, they give you an embed code. You can drop that email form on your website, which you want to do. Go to if you have a MailChimp account, go to integration, go API, application programming interface, and grab the embed code and pop that on your website. So when somebody goes to your website now, you can do what we talked about earlier, get that lead, start generating those leads. Content marketing. Now, content marketing, people been kicking this term around for a while, but it's basically about providing information that build your credibility and warm fuzziness with your audience. So if you have like a blog, you're writing articles, doing instructional videos, podcasts, radio shows, webinars, you're doing content marketing. And that's content in the jargon sense, but content in the more general sense is more like what you put on your Facebook post, your organic posts and things like that. But there is a field called content marketing, very popular form of digital marketing. And the last one we're going to spend a little more time on, because it is so encompassing, it seems to be the hot hand right now, is social media marketing. Is probably the most pervasive and the one that most people are familiar with now, so much so people think that's anonymous. But you're using your social media networks to reach customers. And the size of this market makes it very enticing. It's like, how can you ignore 3 billion people? Now I get people, some of my older clients, they say, look, I'm just gonna do it the old fashioned way. I'm gonna shake hands and go out here and knock on doors and like, why? How many doors can you knock on? You're overlooking 3 billion, those folks you're knocking on their door, they're not answering because they're in there on Facebook. So you need to understand that I don't try to push people into social media, but what I will do is to let them know the size of it and the scope. And that if used properly, and you're not just using it to show what you had at IHOP for dinner, but you use it in a business sense. And I also like to throw in the term, use social media, don't let it use you. It can be a very effective tool for digital marketing. 3 billion people on Facebook, almost as many on YouTube, Instagram, now TikTok, 1 billion. That's a lot of folks. It's hard to know that. It's hard to ignore those numbers. I'm gonna do it on time here. Okay, doing pretty good. We're gonna talk about content for a minute because content is so important. In all of these platforms, all of these strategies, they say content is king. Now there's 2 types of content you should be aware of. The first one is organic content. So if you're doing posting on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and you're putting things out there that's well, you're not paying any money, you're trying to engage with people, that's called organic content. Pretty much you created it yourself, and you're really using it, if you use it from a strategy standpoint, it's helping nurture brand and so forth. It falls into that type of marketing where you're trying to get people to feel comfortable with you. It requires a lot of work to get any payoff on it. But if you look at in a long-term sense, it's working in a way that it may be branding you. It's just hard to get immediate measurable results from it. That's why we're going to talk about one of the last things we're going to talk about is performance indicators. Now, this is where all social media and digital marketing ends up eventually. And I'm sure that the founders of Facebook and Twitter and all of them realized they just didn't tell us that. They just had us believing that this was just going to be one big fun party. We're going to be sharing our baby photos and graduation pictures, and everybody's going to live a la 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 la. Well, they had other plans. They knew eventually it's going to come down to having to spend some money on these digital platforms, and we're just about at that point now. Matter of fact, the latest quote I saw was that social media has become less social and more media, and that is so true. Paid content, some of the same things we talked about earlier, apply. You spend some money, you build yourself a landing page, put some low threshold items in place, then you go back and measure the results. Let's talk about context. Now, this is where I think I'm the only one that beat this drum as loud as I do, but like I say, I do this every day, and I had many people yelling at me when I first got into the social media and digital field. This stuff isn't working. Well, they didn't understand the multiple objectives, so not working is a relative term. But context, I'm trying to explain this as quick as I can, but instead of let's just say if there was a drought tomorrow and you're in the water business, man, that's payday. That's you've hit the lottery. Now you don't want a drought. You don't be thirsting to death, of course not. But if your livelihood depends on people needing water, you have really hit the jackpot. So what Context does, an event happens and it's trending. Everybody's talking about it. There's a sizable part of your audience that's affected by it. Folks that are in your Facebook page and your database and your client base. Do you have or can you create content that you can share that may align, inspire, or generate interest among those who are affected by this event? Okay, we had a drought. A lot of your folks were living out there on the desert. Now it's a good time to dust off that article you wrote last month about the importance of water and how people that you drink 8 glasses of water a day, or you have a client that has a water factory. You dig up that content. If not, you may have to create some. Then you share that content. You put it on your social media platform. You put it on your email blast. You put it on your website. And timing is important. Once again, this one has made digital media a gold mine for this type of thinking, context marketing. Because in the old days, you had to call up the newspaper. Man, they got to run it through production. They got to get somebody to speak the ad, find some background music, and they got to go through the whole rigmarole. Man, by the time you're ready to put the content out there, the crisis is over. So context is a golden nugget to apply when you have digital marketing pieces going out the door. You're going to see an appreciable increase in the return on that investment if you can add good content and apply context along with it. That's going to get you some pay dirt. I was beating this horn before digital marketing. The only thing missing, I wasn't talking about it before because I didn't have a fast delivery system. We were doing email blasts, and even that took a while. Social media, the drought hit at noon. You could be talking about it at 12:15. I mean, it's that fast. Keep this in mind. Social media, as well as other platforms regarding digital marketing and marketing in general. Listening, we call listening in social media. That's really paying attention to what's going on. Now, you're going to get a lot more effective response from anything you're doing if you are in tune with what's happening around you, including things like we talked about previously about context. Be aware of what's going on around you. Listen. Of course, engage. We already know that. If you have a social media platform or things are going on, you want to engage, because you just don't put these platforms up and then go back to sleep. You got to follow, you got to reciprocate. Reciprocity is a big benefit in social media. Jump into the conversation, like people's comment on their posts, follow people, share, provide reviews, get engaged, bring people back to you. You will never know sometimes the people that actually will come back to your platform. People that, wait a minute, that person, hey, she on the radio station. She's commenting on my post, and you didn't go back and respond back. So opportunity lies in this engagement. Hashtags. This should be part of your strategy, particularly in social media. Take a minute, and when you're doing a post, what hashtag does, it brings people that have common interests together. So when you do your post in Instagram and Facebook and these different platforms, drop in a hashtag. It's all like a long tail keyword. I just put down some hashtags like for this class today. PGCC, digital marketing, Prince George's County, increased sales, Robert Gatewood, who is that? Oh, that's me. So you put in hashtags that might give people a common theme to rally around. Because if you put a post out there, generally only your people that follow you will get it. The hashtag brings in people who have never heard of you. I love hashtags. And particularly if you're doing like Instagram, that should be hashtag city. I would not put up any Instagram post without hashtag. It's almost like you're wasting your time. Another favorite of digital marketing is live video. Now, if you have a YouTube account, if you have Facebook, if you have Instagram, TikTok, live video is really like a hot hand right now. And it's not that hard to do. This lady right here actually put up her cell phone on a tripod, like she's doing a product demonstration. She can take that and make a reel out of it. She can put it on a Facebook page. You can put it on her YouTube account. You can get something like StreamYard and do multicasting. So live video is a great way now to get your message out here in the digital marketing world. As we talked about with the trends, short video, people just not gonna watch your 2-hour video. I'm sorry. You just, I mean, you what you need to do is take that 2-hour video and use it for context inventory. Go back, put some tags on it, make some notes on it. What I do in my when I do a video on YouTube, I put enough notes down in the description that when I need some context, I can go back and pull that video and chop it up. I mean, I do a radio show, and the show might be an hour and a half hour, but I'm right after the show is over, I go back and pull out some clips. Like say a YouTube clip, it's about up to 60 seconds, and you can clip it and share it from YouTube onto your Facebook page. I mean, that's really cool. I like the clips. So you can share it on your Facebook page, you put it on your Twitter page. So if you got that long video, instead of sharing that whole 2-hour video at that conference, half the time they're sitting around talking about what they're gonna eat for lunch and so forth, cut out the part that's relevant using context and share it to your various platforms. Stories, you see those on Facebook and Instagram, same thing with Reels, and clips and shorts are more familiar to the YouTube platform. And just for the record, if you're doing a clip is more horizontal in nature, whereas shorts are more made for your cell phone. They're more portrait in nature. As we come to the end here, now you do all this work, and like many people, you're on a tight budget, the boss breathing down your neck, right? Gatewood, where's the results we got? He said, well, look, man, we don't have any customers. Man, he's ready to show you the door. So you got to have something else to show them that all this work wasn't in vain. All this money was spent, didn't go up the tube. So what you do, you bring out the KPI, key performance indicators. Now, what key performance indicators are, they're a way to gauge progress, up or down, okay? And certain KPIs we're probably familiar with, like views. But if you're not using those insights and tools that provided by the platform, I'm just sitting here wasting my time. You have to go back and look at what's working and what's not. Is the needle moving? Are you increasing your views? Which you did 3 weeks, you did 15 posts this week. Which one did the best? What type of media was it? Was it a static photo? Was it a video? Was it heavy in content? Did it have a certain headline? You have to go back and look at these KPIs to know what's working and what's not. Know what you have to rinse and what you have to repeat. So you look for the number of views. How many likes did this post get versus the one we did last week? How many impressions did we get? How many shares, retweets? How many follows did we get? Comments? Did we get traffic to the website? If you're not doing this, you're going to be you're not going to know what's working. You're not going to know what's not working. And if you're doing something that's not working, you're going to keep repeating it when you could have changed course somewhere along the way. So I'm big on KPIs. And this is the last slide. I'll take any questions if you have any. I call this a 30 minutes a day plan. Let's just say, particularly in social media, but this can apply to any type of digital marketing. Let's say people complain about the amount of time this stuff takes. So yes, you got 30, many times I'm training companies, the person that's doing the social media is sometimes the administrative assistant, they've got 50 other things to do. Sometimes it's the business owner, they're doing payroll, they're a bottle washer, they're doing everything else. They say, how do I find time to do this? Well, let's just say you carve out some time. Let's say if you start out 30 minutes a day. That's all I got. But here's a good way to spend that 30 minutes and at least get some type of tangible result, hopefully in the end. We talked about listening. Take the first 12 minutes and just sit there and see what's going on. Go through your Facebook page, go to your LinkedIn page, go to TikTok if you have an account, go to Instagram, go to Twitter, and see what people are talking about. See if anybody liked you, anybody shared anything with you. So you want to spend some time just getting the lay of the land. The next thing you want to do is engage. If you got that person that liked your post and they make this nice comment about it, I'd like to talk to you a little more in detail. Get on there and focus on posting, replying, liking, commenting, following, and posting, reposting. So take a 10-minute and do that. Then take another 5 minutes and go to those KPIs, see what's working, what's not. What do I have to do differently now? Can I not run this again? Somebody on this one said, look, I thought that was a little insensitive. Well, let me take that down. So you want to analyze what you have done the day before or that morning. And then the last thing you want to do is research and review. Spend a few minutes to make sure you're up to top, you're on top of things, you're doing things that are working, things that are not working, or the new tools out here, or the new trends. So you want to spend that time. So, and then like I said, you have more time, you can move these numbers around. But these are 4 things that you should be doing on a daily basis if you're going to be in the social media and digital world. Folks, you've been great. I'll take any questions that you have. And if anybody wants a copy of this, presentation, I don't know if Thomas, should I just I can give out my information. And also you need to do the survey. You can scan that with your cell phones. And there's a survey that the good people at PSCE would like for you to do a survey. Anybody have any questions? All right. Let me know if let me see, I see something in the chat room. All right, a couple of people have said, job well done. I need a copy if possible. Hey, Thomas, what's the best way to get this PowerPoint to the
Yes, you can try to drop it in the chat session.
in the chat section? Okay.
Yeah, and
Is there
grab it from there.
Is there a size limit?
How many pages do we have over there?
I think it's about 30, about 38 size.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Well, what I can do, I didn't do it before the session. I can convert it to a PDF.
yes.
And I can, anybody who wants a copy, you can drop your email address in the chat, and I will guard your email address with my life in confidence, and I can send you a copy after we hang up. Also, I'm going to put up my information if anybody wants to contact me. That's my email address. If you don't get a copy and somehow we we don't connect. By the way, I'm Robert Gatewood. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web over in Largo, Maryland. And also I'm an instructor at Prince George's Community College. I've been doing that for 25 years. And I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak with you today. And I'll be more than happy to share this information by email to anyone who wants a copy of the slide. You can see I got a couple of chats here. Okay, I was definitely, and I see Ganzi, I see Sandra. Okay, I'll make sure I get these sent out by email. If there are no other questions, I'm going to end this course. And I want to thank you again, everybody, for your attention, your questions, and your comments. And I see one more person. Thank you, Faye. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. And I will see you at some of the other courses, okay? Thomas, am I good to go? If I just leave, just hit the leave button?
Yes, sir.